they said that you go on the stage, essentially the people who would be there are the guests of CBC, and they may be interested in knowing directly from you a few things. Then I come here and find there is every other person I could think of. I'm sure Arjun is not here to hire some people. Nor is Karen, nor is Nina. But welcome. I'll just give it an open stance like this. I'll put a couple of points forward to you. One, how this university got to be what it is doing. Many times you would have seen history relates to some personal experience for me. And in my case, for Shiv Nadar University, it definitely happened. The SSM school of engineering, that happened because we were trying to build an institution close to IITs. And I was very pleased, yesterday I was in a board meeting, that there is a ranking institution called EduRank. It's a global institution. And when they rank SSM as the best private institution in India. They just overran it. I'm very happy to see that, because they are not media, so they don't sell anything. They only rank. So it's like Moody's. They're not press people. And it is why we wanted to do that was it is more to do with HCL. HCL was created by R&D engineers, all of whom came from IITs. And the company I started with, so we started with 3 people. The technical person who was doing the 8-bit machine, which is what made the company, he was from IIT Kanpur. And the vice chairman of the company, which is Arjun, he was from IIT Kanpur. Basically, our friendship created HCL. And then if we were to create designs in India, the best quality of who could came from the IITs. So it was a way to say thank you to the society and say that we create one more. And that's how the genesis of SSM comes from there. SSM 2 is fairly deep in research. And I was very pleased to know that 20% of the school, there is 800 people complete every year, go to universities, and I saw the universities' names. They were absolutely the best in breed, and it included Harvard Business School. And when you went through the University of California system, I don't think there were 10. It's just that the alumni linkages are formed so strongly within these universities itself. That's they have the hoop which is available. So we are on way there. Later on, I used to talk frequently with my daughter when she was going to college, and she, in the first year of choosing the courses in Northwestern University, we used to sit up together and go through it in detail. She said, "Daddy, I don't like this. When you hear a professor is good, they will go through and finally make the choices." And in the second year, we were not together sitting. She was on the phone. She said, "Let's see how to work it out." Third year, when she went into the junior year, she just really sent me a mail saying that these are the subjects I have chosen, in which she is completely switched from the original basics of economics and communication. It's because those classes were available, and as students grow, have a more and more independent mind, they were coming from thinking for themselves and not thinking through the eyes of the parents. That's what the schools do today. Have them available, then take charge of your career. From 18 to 20, it's not just 2 years. It's changed after the college. I thought about it, reflected on it considerably later on. If I had an option when I was in college in engineering, would I have pursued engineering? Actually, I didn't. Right when I was in the 4th year, when I started the business school, was started with some classes. There were 2 very good professors who later on went to teach in Ahmedabad. I used to be hanging around the cabins all the time because I found the subject very fascinating. I shifted into business management and I never came out. So if I were at SNU, I would have stuck into business management and would have been fully prepared in the business school itself. It's just that options. Develop your personality according to not what you chose at an age in which you are not equipped to do, or your parent making those choices. You know, they're all a set of things which are highly questionable. If you go back to see parents thinking in your parents' time itself, the career was seen to be 30 years. Somebody came at the age of 22, 24. They went to start working at 55 years. Now, if you go to California and sit and talk to my neighbors, they say that our children will live past 100. And the duration of how long they will work is going to change. And it will be more like 60 years they'll work because they don't have anything else. You know, their physical systems will be robust enough for them to continue to work. And their mind and their experience otherwise will be wasted. Now, suddenly you look at it, this education system, like my parents' time, their education system, have to be built differently. This has to stand up. It's not just 4 years, you know, if you were to look at it. And I find that the decibel level for reducing it from 4 years to 3 years on one side, whereas on the other side, there is a very strong case to argue. I have in our board, Shankar Shastri, who is the dean of Berkeley, Dean of Engineering in Berkeley, a highly celebrated person. He is the US President's counsel for many of the key technology issues. He said he knows about Shiv Nadar University. He said this is 21st century university. You have to encourage the students who are coming to study 4.5 to 5 years. 3 years is behind you. Completely, totally behind. 4, according, and he is a celebrated educationist. He is from the California system, but he'll come here next time around will be here. He said, you are making the offering and strengthen the entrepreneurship offering and the pieces that you do, like Stanford did, Berkeley did. He said, you do that because entrepreneurship doesn't mean that he goes and constructs a small-scale business or a larger discovery. Those things can happen, but sheer entrepreneurship is there in any career. You know, to run a large company, and entrepreneurship would be part of or necessity of every large company as well. So he said you should encourage people to do that period either contiguously with your undergrad or afterwards come back and do a 6-month switch. Maybe work for 4 years and come back and do a 6-month switch, then go back. This is not a place in which we come here, learn something and go back. It's a place where you come here just to keep coming back. So this is where I anchor myself. And are you a strong enough anchor when you do this? So that's the basis on which we have built the university. What we have built in any of the areas, whether it is for leadership academy or whether it is schools or whether it is the museum, they are all uniquely thought, fills a gap. It won't be leadership academy, there is none. The schools already are demonstrating they're not just not a school. Today as we are talking, there's a major event which is taking place in the schools as well. And the museum is participating in Spain and New York. So from the foundation, individually, we are doing a few things quite well. Some advantages. Anyone who studies in SSN and then takes a job in North, he will find ways by which they connect into courses of SLU every year. Because options like I watched can get out. You can do a business school. Instead of 2 years, you have to do it in 3 years. If you devote all weekends for kids. But it's a regular, full evening. They don't abridge anything and then they deliver. So we will find ways by which we will give shape to the schools. So the students that are coming out of SNU or SSN will have the ability to continue as required and as it will be demanded the way life will pan out. That's a short summary of where I think this place is going. With that, I leave it open to you. Any question you wish to ask me? And there are other people from SN who are SNU and SSN is sitting on that side.
I want to ask you something about research. Need a mic?
I'm tempted to compare you with emerging Indian private universities. My question is that you emphasis on research. Usually, historically, there has been an underemphasis because it's seen like a profit-oriented activity where you educate people against fees and all. How do you measure investment in research and its outcome and benchmark yourself in that field? What's your research kind of ideas planning out on?
I'm going to have one of the faculty here. She's Dean of Physical Sciences. As a father, I mean, she does more than that.
I can speak. I'm a teacher, so this room I'm quite familiar with. It's an excellent question. I think the question that we keep asking ourselves. The way you measure the returns from research is not the same as you do in business. But primary motivation for us here at SNU is we feel teaching and research, there is a synergy, and we exploit that. Teaching feeds into our research feeds into teaching. We do not look at them as separate. And because we want to create the system of education we are working on, we train our students in creative problem solving. So they're just not bookish learners. We train them in the skills of creative problem solving. And that happens when you ask questions and you try to find answers on your own. And somebody is just not coming and lecturing like I'm doing right now. You forget it. So you hear, you forget. You do something, you remember. So that's the way our training system is. So research is expensive, and we really need to thank the vision of Shiv for this. And since you would see the effect of it in real terms later. I can go on actually with similar aspects, but essentially the driving thing is teaching and research hand in hand.
I have a question, following question on this. You know, Raj Reddy, who's going to be delivering the presentation this afternoon, he said in Carnegie they used to get, you know, the undergraduate bachelor students first year. Bakra, so they will give him 100 problems that have never been solved in history. And give it to them and say that let's see what this people do. I said that's real sadism. Because you know it cannot be solved. You just get it to a youngster, 18-year-old. I said, Shiv, they really love when you give them problems that are unsolved. He says, who knows? One of them may solve it.
Yeah.
I said, is there historical evidence that at least one problem has been solved? He said, the answer is yes. So, you know, it is just that we know it is impossible. He does not know. I picked it up in our foundation. We took two projects. One is a project called Shiksha, another is a project called Samudaya. Shiksha has a 10-year goal to start with. I don't think anything has 10 years, but this has 10-year goals. That we will eliminate illiteracy in UP. Now, you can imagine what the size of the problem is. It's 200 million people, 100 million people are illiterate. The illiterate people are making no attempt to get themselves literate. So, this is our choice is either we leave them to be condemned to illiteracy for the rest of their lives, or go do something about it. Foundation will say, we'll go do something about it. It's taken 3 years to get a few experiments concluded, which is 90% of whatever is taught is retained by 90% of it. Basically, instruction is now delivered to computers, projector systems, with some augmentation system. We had to prove it. You know, if you want to do this, there must be some way of addressing which is higher scientific. On the other side, we said so that we make no compromises. We had MIT to document the whole thing and watch over this project. You know, this is too serious a subject. And at the end of year 2, 100% of the people who attend will retain 100% of what they've learned. One thing will be sure, at least we do not create new illiterates anymore. The first thing is arrest the fever, arrest the disease. So we have worked at, I think we have tried up to 20,000 students. It's a good enough sample, it works. Now, Foundation employs a large number of teachers who go all over the UP to do this. Now we are addressing adult literacy, which is a more difficult problem. How solutions will come from what we have done. Now, I offered this project. Normally, if you ask a young executive who is in his 20s, would you like to do a 10-year project? Can't say that. Why me? You know? Same project. So here, a young Bengali guy has to be a Bengali guy. Threw his hat in the ring. And he said, Shiv, can I take a shot? He's completely unqualified for it. Because he doesn't have a theoretical background of doing this. I said, okay, I'll give you a theoretical background because I was very involved with NIA. That experience that doesn't happen. I will carve out a team for you, for 50 people who are content providers. He's completed 3 years, he's got 7 years to go. he took it up because he did not know it was impossible. Right? And he is now showing signs that it is possible. And wherever we go, now it's a matter of organizing it. There is one more project that's being done by an executive of ours, and all raised in Delhi, but she had to go to, this is Samudaya project, in hardcore, rough in the villages to the project. But again, the opening statement was it's not possible. This is about building model villages to perfection. So maybe one village has been built in Rajasthan, Bunker Rai built. He is successfully completed it. Other than that, history does not have it. So here, in the first round, UP government said that this is not possible. And I'm addressing like this all principal secretaries of the UP government. They said, it's not possible, you're wasting your time. And in the last meeting, they said, you will get it done in 240 villages. But that doesn't change anything because you can't spread it all over UP. I wasn't sure whether we could get it done in 240 villages. They feel confident that we will get it done in 240 villages. 240 villages has not been done even in the peak of the freedom movement. So, the people who are doing it, none of them have any experience. It's just that the will is carrying and the ambition is carrying. So there is some benefit of people not knowing how tough jobs are supposed to. The university will create more and more people like that.
I had a question. Shiv, you spoke about the importance of technical and science.
He is one of the most inspirational persons. Ashok, will you stand up please? This is Ashok Alexander. And anytime if I need some inspiration, there are two people I go to. One is Raj Reddy, the other is Ashok Alexander.
That's too kind. But I was, you mentioned how HCL was built off very strong technical, very strong group. And the importance of technical and science education is apparent. Could you say a few words about the importance of humanities, arts, and so on? Do you see that as part of your vision for how this university will evolve? Liberal arts, humanities, and so on.
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And you could see that. And we think they are part of the need. They are definitely part of the need in any job. And it is. If I scrub it all out and say what is the basic core, the basic core is they must be well-rounded when they go in there. Yes, the university stands committed to that.
I have a question.
Yes. Yeah, right in front, speak up.
Since start of civilization till 1700 AD, India was at the apex of the world. But thereafter the downfall started. Today if you think about any engine, whether it is scooter engine, whether it is car engine, whether it is truck engine, whether it is aeroplane engine, it's tank engine or the satellite engine, it is all imported technology. So I have two questions. When I started my job in 1983 with NTPC, I learned somewhere in magazine that Mr. Shiv Nadar, who is the chief of HCL, has a vision to double its turnover every 5 years. Where it has reached today is that same exponential growth is happening. And number two, if we have to export engines in future, what should the DNA of this university to establish the research work here.
Big correction, Arjun will stand testimony to that. Arjun, I thought we said 10 years, 10 times every 5 years. We just fell behind a bit. So I just wanted to correct. And with reference to the universities, you know, giving people that will, because engine is like a microcycle is an engine. He's talking about engines of various objects which are prime movers, like stars. What are we doing to strengthen? Anybody answer from the university?
Yes, we believe that it's very important to build innovators at the university. So several initiatives along those lines. First, Rupa already mentioned engaging students in the act of creating things while they're undergraduates. We have a program called the Opportunities for Undergraduate Research. Over 70 of our undergraduates now for the second year have been funded in research projects that involve them doing hands-on work during their undergraduate career. Secondly, we have recently hired Professor Shiv Nadar, who's joined us to head up our School for Executive Education and Professional Development, as well as the School of Management and Entrepreneurship. And one of his tasks is to set up an incubation and innovation center at the university so that we can build and create the kind of environments that have led to the combination of university-based innovation as we see around the world. And that's something that's an important objective for us.
Okay. It is important to mention that for OUR students get no credit or grades.
Yes,
But
so
they
this
still
is
spend up to a year doing those projects and sometimes spending as much time on the OUR project as they do on the rest of the classes.
Thank you. It's a very good point. Professor Girish Agarwal is head of our department of civil engineering. These projects that our undergraduates are doing to create original work, they do outside of the regular academic load that they're expected to carry. In other words, these are labors of love and knowledge, and not just there to pass a degree.
Srikanth from a company called Savior, and I'm an alumnus of WITS, and we know about Dr. Jain. One comment I have, in fact, one of your last year, final year batch person, Lokesh Reddy, he was our intern. We had only 2 interns in our company. I used to be in semiconductors at ST Micro all my 11 years, then went to AMD and then came back here. I found for my to be pleasure, SNU. My kids go to SNS, they love it. And what I see, one easy low-hanging fruit, which I've been talking to some of your faculty members, now that Dr. Jain is there, probably to take better shape, is when I was in ST and AMD, we tried to do have these internships and things like that, collaborative programs with colleges, etc. They never take off to the right level. They don't have the momentum which is required to do core original work required, which will be the fountainhead of innovation and research in the campus. While said that, the startups today, not everybody is an e-commerce startup out there. There are quite a few gray-orange robotics, may not be as successful as them, but quite a few others are there. I think it's very worthwhile to latch on to some serious startups and tie the ships together. They're tiny boats, they're not like huge ships, but they'll sail faster, they'll sail into known waters. That's my 2 cents. And the other intern I had was actually a French guy from École Polytechnique X. He came to ST and he wanted to do some original work. So the ST people said, you go to Srikanth because he has all these crazy ideas. So we did an IoT prototype with them. That fellow went to CMU and Stanford. And so if these people could do work with startup and fly high, how do we scale? That's a problem we have.
Vice Chancellor will have to take
So I think, thank you, those are very good ideas. And
Very good idea.
yeah, I think we have through our Career Development Center several ways that we try and engage the students and engage them in an industry during the course of their undergraduate years. But I think these are very good suggestions, and we will certainly take them into advisement.
In fact, thanks to the internship the student did with you at Xavier, during the final placement process, he was the one who got through Amazon and is part of a very important project working with Amazon today. Thanks to the training you gave him. Thank you so much.
We also had this year with Dell, 19 of our students who did these advanced internships and then went on and were hired by Dell as well.
Ashish is
sitting here right there.
I'll just add to it. That's a really wonderful point. Sorry, my name is Ashish. I'm the country manager for University Relations at Dell. So, one thing that stands testimony to the fact that Shiv Nadar University has been really, really progressive in terms of whatever the students can benefit out of. So normally it's the end semester internship that SNU has, and I spoke to Anupa and I told her that pre-placement offers that's really looked upon by all IITs and ITs, everybody, that can work only and only when we have summer interns, because we won't wait till January to make our campus offers. So she worked really hard with the academic council. The academic council was very liberal in allowing us in picking up 13 interns. I'm really, really proud to say all the 13s got pre-placement offers. So, and we still were not satisfied. We came back again and picked up 16 more students from the campus. So, though, yes, startups, because they are in a position to give live work, everybody really wants to, look at startups. But it is not only on startup, it's also on the established organizations to actually ensure that we give live assignments to students which have achievable, goals. And then, instead of doing the age-old aptitude test and technical interview and then management interview and then HR interview, it makes much, much more sense for all the established companies also to pick up interns, give them live projects, and then see whether they fit into the organization.
Hi, Shiv, I'm Anil, Nikhil's brother. Business and social development, you exemplify both. There's a movement that combines both. Social entrepreneurship businesses, which have shared value, which create impact at the base of the pyramid, are yet financially viable. And the same in terms of investing for impact, called impact investing. Just the thoughts of the faculty on social entrepreneurship and could be combined with the entrepreneurship school to do executive education for the social entrepreneurs, many of whom enter because they want to do social good but don't know how to run a business. Or it could be the vice versa. Just some thoughts on that. And secondly, your R&D facility is unique. It's a great offering. And just your thoughts about how you could network and leverage that across. So two aspects. One is social
Two direct
entrepreneurship.
points. I wasn't sure that social entrepreneurship has yet come of life, come of maturity. Till the time I went and saw the team which leads the Samuday project. And that's what the worst. Next to Congo, that's another place should not be sending your daughter to. And I find that out of 950 to 19 were girls. And the eldest of the team, the project director, she's 34. And another 4 or 5 people were in the 30s. Otherwise, everybody is in their 20s. Highly qualified. I actually met them for dinner and I asked them, are your parents happy that you're coming and doing this job in the middle of UP where I feel scared about the security to start with? And they, at that age, they don't know fear. And the passion which is running in their system so high, I think somewhere we have to do some alterations. Because now with the CSR money being available, then corporations will be looking more and more for education institutions should start. That's a noting which maybe the Vice Chancellor could take. And R&D labs of HCL will be open to SNU and SSR. I've made the offer many times. If it doesn't work, you're not trying hard enough. Because with Rajesh Swarup as president here, if he can't talk to the R&D people of HCL, even I will fail. So, Rajesh Swarup is hiding somewhere, I suppose. We'll just toss it to him. Yes, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Jayesh, and it's a wonderful and pleasure honor to be part of the Shiv Nadar journey. That working with you and in the vision of town creating and contributing to just campus. And more and more I come just learn about your vision. India is, we had a session in the morning about 2047. 100 years of India.
I'm sorry I missed it.
But it was wonderful debate and discussion. One thing came up, which is kind of collaborative commerce and responsible and accountability towards the nation and our Indian values. And where do you see you as a visionary who really clearly as a committed on social and education aspects of our society? I mean, how do you see Shiv Nadar University will play a role?
See, I'm not clear about the university, how it will play the role. But the way we started playing the role, it's very hard, but we still are doing it. Both the Samudaya and Shiksha projects are meant for you. A lot of what we do is for you. Because UP is where HCL was born. This is our community, so we said we will return to the community here. That's our leadership academies, Vidya Gyan. Both are in UP. So we have very actively collaborated in this with the UP government. The UP government, bureaucracy is pretty good. It's not, there's anything lacking in them. It is what it is. It's not going to move at the pace at which they will move. But are they willing to, willfully participate? Because people who constitute the bureaucracy are very intelligent guys. So we work in partnership with them. It's too unlike people. But identical people don't need to be partners. Is that unlike people with different goals, with different missions, different resources, just one thing is absolutely clear. We say that don't worry about how much this will cost. This is why we exist. So we'll divert from wherever the funds need to be diverted, we'll divert it. But they're happy for us to lead in this partnership. Can university take up projects in social entrepreneurship? I quite don't know whether it forms within the rules which this university is set to follow. Till now, it will be in the periphery. But there are certain areas where we are doing research. Can you describe that?
Talk a little bit about what we mean social entrepreneurship.
Yes. Sure, take this opportunity. You met me earlier as the stand-up comic. I was really trying to play time before we began. We've taken the idea of social entrepreneurship very seriously here, and the methodology we're following, Shiv, is really first is decoupling social from entrepreneurship. In our view, entrepreneurship by itself must create leaders who have purpose, and who create sustainable businesses that stand the scrutiny of any analysis for a viable business. Social represents the focal point of their effort, and in some ways all entrepreneurship is social. So our efforts are really to first find and create leaders and students who are willing to dig deep and really, bring forward the deepest problems of society for solution. And by definition, we believe the convergence of those two will create not only viable businesses in the future, but those that have these larger objectives in mind. And that's how we plan to achieve the congruence between those two ideas.
Hi, my name is Vikas and I am from NCR Corporation. So actually nowadays there is a lots of gap between corporates and universities. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Shiv for creating such a wonderful platform. And now my question is, while designing your curriculum, do you take any feed from corporates? And if yes, how?
In our very lofty mission, we feel the university has a mission of its own, which is well judged. We do not just respond to the industry, we like to lead it. Now, it's too lofty to say right now, so this needs the kind of vision one Shiv Nadar had to see where the world is going. So I think the mission of the university is just not to cater to your needs, but to lead you to where the future is. And so it's taken in to be, in concrete terms, we do look at it, but we widen it, the scope of mostly, because in businesses the focus is sometimes very, very narrow, and by definition we are a university.
You call it narrow, we call it accurate.
Yes, absolutely. So you see, so this is what goes on, and I think we take that, we do not just respond to it, we widen it, fit it into the university mission, but it's pretty much there. You cannot not have that with somebody like him driving us. So yeah, it's there. It's a good question. Thanks.
So for ma'am, I'm Monica from NCR itself. To add it on the same question, we definitely have a new university criteria which you are bringing it up on the table for us, right? So only one university cannot build the entire setup altogether, right? So we have different league of students coming from different colleges, and we have a different level of works also. In corporates, we have people working into IT development, into support, so we need to have different blend of people, right? So if in case you're building a level up and bring in elite students out on the crowd, so what is an expectation from university to the corporates, that should we enhance to build that level, that we utilize those students pretty well in our offices, or we build them similar to the same work what we are doing it. So making them part of the crowd what we have, or bring it up to the next level. So what is the expectation from the university to the corporates?
I don't know. I don't know whether I speak for everybody. Just standing here, my thinking is, it's not a one-way process, as you rightly said. It's a two-way one. At the university, our approach is not knee-jerk. Everything has to evolve organically. In some way, I think there is a previous question, and I think it's very valid. Why is it that we keep on importing everything? And then I remember as a physicist myself, when I had an idea and I did it, a proof of principle experiment in my lab, Japanese were interested, not a single Indian was interested in what I was doing. And they bought it. I mean, this is the truth. I mean, we keep on importing and we do not even look at, there is no R&D support from the real industry. So in a nutshell, what I would like to say, maybe I'm speaking just thinking aloud, that I don't think SNU wants to be in competition with any other model. The country needs all kinds. We're going to be one, and we hope that we'll lead the way maybe but too much of talking is already done. Our work should speak. I will not speak anymore.